Hello there and welcome back to TakenOffAir, where we have a Stefan, a
Hello.
Jordan who is sort of here in spirit but possibly not here.
His camera's on now.
I don't know if he'll talk, but he might. We don't know. But he's here in spirit. And we've got Jay who... Sorry, we don't have Jay because he's busy at work. We have Jay's spirit, which means we may have technical difficulties. That's what we're going to blame it on.
Don't do that. Don't tempt it. This episode could go well.
Stefan is hosting the connection, so we'll see if Jay's spirit has leaked into his computer.
Well, hopefully not, because typically I do have more stable connection. I don't really want to say that and jinx it either, but you know.
You say fingers crossed,
yeah.
Anyway, we have decided to try a sort of little bit something different. We did it last week, and we're doing it again this week, and it's sort of a keyword thing. So we choose a couple of keywords, 3 or 4 keywords, and we each find a bit and pieces to do with it. I've just hit my mic twice. Yes. I do apologise. Bits and pieces sort of to do with the keyword that we can link into each other, so it's not just me having the topics all the time.
Yeah,
I did notice that I'm finding them all the time because I'm sort of the host, but it gives them a chance to find them as well.
Yeah, so we did notice that while everyone usually has random odd stuff to talk about, we just chat about it kind of in our normal lives and in our group chat that we have. We just talk about random things all the time, but it's always kind of that brings topics, and we don't usually the stuff we rabbit about behind the scenes doesn't get onto here, but sometimes it's quite interesting. So what we decided was the whole point of this, the whole start of this was Kyle will just spring a random topic on it, and then we kind of react to it and talk about it. So we don't know what the episode's going to be about before we start. We didn't want to lose that, so we didn't want to be like, right, send me what you got and we'll see if we can find stuff to go with it. So Kyle literally picks a keyword or two from his topics and puts them in the group chat late this time, really, but usually the day before we're about to record. It's all right. And then we find just stuff that link with them words, if you like.
Yeah. I will say the reason I've sent it late is because we are recording a day early this weekend because I am away, possibly. Yeah. No, definitely. I am away, and I don't know if I'll have connection or anything to be able to come on. Jay will probably be at work, which means you would be left with Stefan and Jordan. And we all know Jordan doesn't talk very much, so you would be left with Stefan talking and Jordan going, yep, or randomly saying something every once in a while.
Well, he hasn't even turned his mic on so far.
Or it would descend into sports talk and about football and cricket, which we all know we don't want this to turn into a football podcast because there's enough of those out there already.
I have to find something. I have one thing about sport that does work. Hold on. Sorry.
So, while he's finding that...
I do have it, but I'll let you finish.
It's also, we did start taking off air as a sort of... We say a lot of stupid random shit. Should we put it on the internet? And it sort of descended into this madness. So you are stuck with our madness because we all decided we say some stupid shit.
This actually started because of me and you sitting having a random argument about something. I can't remember what it was, but I remember it was ridiculous. And it was just but what about blah, blah, blah? And Jay was just sitting absolutely pink in the face, falling off the bed because he was sitting in your room laughing, and he was like, "Why don't we record this shit?" Because me and you literally spent an hour arguing about something. It was totally fucking pointless. I do remember it was kind of theoretical. It was something to do with something we watched, so possibly Star Wars or something. I don't know. But I do remember it was just an hour of just back and forth, and every time it tailed off and went quiet, we'd talk about something else for like 2 minutes, and then one of them would go, "No, because blah, blah, blah," and then Jay was just creasing. He was like, "We need to record this." So that's how this started.
So if you want more random, if you want us to go back to that a little bit and just randomly talk about stupid shit and argue with each other for an hour straight, let me know, because I am fucking happy to do that. We have plenty to argue about, especially when things like Overcooked, when you don't get out the fucking way!
Don't talk to me about Overcooked, because I re-downloaded it and tried to play it with Nina, and it was still impossible.
Yeah.
Right.
It is impossible, but I love it so much.
Jordan, your mic needs to be a little bit closer required, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read you. This is how you explain a game to someone who doesn't understand it, right? I want you to listen to the end. I don't want you to cut in, but I want you to guess when we're finished. And I'll go to Kyle first because I think Jordan's more likely to get this what the sport is. Are you ready?
Okay.
Right. You have two sides, one out in the field and one in, right? Each man that's in the side that's in goes out, and when he's out, he comes in, and the next man goes in until he's out. When they're all out, the side that's out comes in, and the side that's been in goes out, and tries to get those coming in out. Sometimes you get men still in, but not out. A man goes out. When a man goes out to go in, the men who are out try and get him out, and when he is out, he goes in, and the next man in goes out and goes in. There are two men who stay out all the time and decide when the men who are in are out. When both sides have all been in and all the men have been out, and both sides have been out twice after all the men have been in, including those who are not out, that is the end of the game. And the winner is declared if there is one.
Me and Jordan both know what this is.
Go on, the guy.
Baseball!
It isn't.
It isn't.
No.
It sounds a lot like baseball/softball.
Jordan?
Do I play this sport?
Yes, you do.
Cricket.
Kyle, I'll send you.
Hold on a
I'm
second.
going to go one better than to send you. I found out that I can get this on a tea-towel. I'm going to send you that.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what two men constantly stay out, because as far as my memory goes for cricket...
The umpires?
Yeah, but isn't there only ever one umpire?
No, two.
Oh, wait, that's why I didn't get it, because I was thinking baseball, you've got the person who catches the ball, and you've got the umpire. I thought in cricket you just had one umpire, like football, you've got like one.
I get what you're saying, but if you're counting the...
Also,
what's it
I
called?
will
Catcher
say,
in baseball, is that what it's called? The guy behind?
Yeah.
If you're counting him, then you have to count the wicketkeeper, and cricket is the same thing. So your logic's kind of flawed. Because the catcher's playing for the fielding team, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't know how baseball works. I always
It's just two teams. It's just rounders.
Yeah, but like cricket, like from what I've bear in mind, the only cricket I've ever actually watched is Jordan playing. They only ever have one umpire, and they have breaks every 5 minutes for drink breaks, and they are absolutely terrible. I can say this because he's not listening.
I was going to say, are you saying that they're terrible as in them playing it? And you're saying that because he's back? Oh, alright, okay.
We can't talk shit about him anymore.
I don't.
I love how his camera's so high up, so he's just so small.
Maybe he is just small. He's just sunk.
He's just slowly sinking down.
I thought we need someone that looked like you.
We'll just be left with a forehead.
That's why I'm so high up in my camera frame. We need someone that looks like Bill.
I love how
your chin's not big enough.
Is that an insult to myself?
I love how I'm the only one who's got like a sort of middle centre cam. You're sort of zoomed in and making yourself look big. Jordan's sort of like shrunk down and everything.
When I'm sitting how I'm meant to be sitting, that's okay. For
goodness sake. There we go.
But it's because I'm leaning forward.
It's just when you're leaning forward
and shit.
You're being imposing.
Who's Tiny Cox?
What?
Who's Tiny Cox?
Is it just a guy?
No, there's usually a reason why you have stupid
he's a guy. Wait there.
It's always
a real person.
Anybody that doesn't know, you should know by now. Listeners should know by now. But if anybody that doesn't know, Stefan always finds a name that is utterly ridiculous and cannot be real, but somehow is a real person.
You want to know how good this one is, though?
Sometimes they work in a field that makes it sound even worse. So today's name is Tiny Cox.
Well, the best one I was getting was the Doctor, but usually it's just a kind of a guy that was on the news or a random person or something. But this one is brilliant because he's a Dutch politician. He's a member of the Socialist Party and has been the party's leader in the Senate since the 10th of June 2003. His real name is, I might get this wrong, Martinus Josephus Maria Cox, but his nickname's Tiny, so it's Tiny Cox.
Why is his nickname Tiny?
I don't know.
Is it one of those ones where he's actually tiny, like he's short, or is it one that ironic ones where he's just a massive mountain and everybody calls him tiny is like a sort of irony?
What?
See if you can get a picture and see if he's just this massive mountain. Imagine that, the mountain from Game of Thrones, you find out his name's Tiny Cox.
Hold on.
What? Right, okay, I found something, well, not helpful. I wonder if I can find his
something
height.
not helpful.
It's got an official site.
Everything we find is not helpful. I don't think we've ever helped anybody in our lives.
Well, I found a guy called Tony Cox who also gets called Tiny.
I know Brian Cox.
Yeah, I've heard.
I know of Brian Cox.
I was going to say, I've never met him.
I like how Jordan's screen sharing, but we're not live on Facebook or anything, so we're the only ones that can see it.
Well, that's all right, as long as he's screen sharing to us. I don't know how tall he is because it doesn't say it. It tells you when he's born and where he's from and shit.
It usually tells you on like Wikipedia pages and stuff. It usually has the height sometimes.
Misread and thought he lived in Titberg in the Netherlands, but it's not. It's called Tilburg. Because of that would just be
that
even
would be
better.
Brilliant.
What?
Tiny Cox lives in Titberg.
Dude, on top
That
of
would
being
be
the General
amazing.
Secretary, so he's General Secretary Cox.
Mr. Cox, get in touch. We need to talk.
Yeah, I don't know why he's called Tiny. There's nothing about him.
We need to talk. Tell us why you're called Tiny. Right, shall we go to our first batch of topics?
Yeah, because I feel like this is getting...
It's getting out of
I
hand.
found a political website from the Netherlands.
Right, we're not going
Dear
political.
Lord. Does it... Yeah, try not to go political, especially with what's going on now, but I will say, does it look like a candy store for a drugman?
I don't know what to do with the cookies because I don't Acnode and neat Acnode. Neat Acnode must mean no fuck off. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, I would
that was
assume.
fun. Oh shit, it's changing. Oh, no, it's back.
Stefan's wandering again.
Why do I always end up on foreign websites when we do this? I found a tab called World Lit.
Because you are German and you immediately go to invade other people's websites. You've went to Sweden, you've went to France, now you're on Dutch.
Dutch is trippy, man. Are you trying to... Yeah, ik Word Lit.
The Dutch have some words that are so similar to ours, but they mean something completely different. It's amazing.
Putin.
Putin? What's he doing there?
I don't know. Standing.
Right.
Do you know economy is just economy, but with I at the end instead of Y?
Yeah, I love it.
Right, okay, I'm going to get off
I
the
will
Dutch
say-
political websites. Hi.
Right, the first topic. It's to do with colour, my dear gents, because that was the first keyword I sent. And I think this could completely and utterly cause an argument or something between us. Not so much with Jordan, because I don't know if he would be fussed. But I
Challenge
know
accepted.
possibly with Stefan,
See.
because Stefan
As arsey is what you
does
get.
is arsey and likes being specific and pedantic.
Oh, God.
And I don't give a flying shit.
This is the thing of. I found this while scrolling through social media and stuff.
Oh, God.
So it is quite interesting. But I've done a little bit of research, and there is a reason why it's a topic.
Right.
And it's the thought that maroon is just navy red.
No, I agree with this because it is. So why is blue navy... Dark blue is navy blue. So
Yes.
why is maroon not navy red? Also, we've established that there's no such colour as brown.
The reasoning, right? It does actually go into reasoning and everything. Navy blue was named for its use in the British Royal Navy in the mid-1700s. Maroon is a French evolution of an evolution of the French marron, meaning chestnut, because maroon is a brownish red like a chestnut. However, if you break it down to simplicity and don't go off where the name came from, navy blue is a darker and more desaturated blue. Maroon is a darker and more desaturated red, which means it can be a navy red. This goes down onto a wild spiral because then you get things such as navy green, navy purple, navy yellow, and then you also join grey, because if you think about it, grey is just a darker and desaturated white.
Do you know what? I don't know what.
I've frozen your brain. You're not even arguing. I'm amazed.
Yeah, no, it's just I get it, but I would usually agree. But it's the fact of it's called navy blue because the navy used it. So it's like British Racing Green. So British Racing Green is the equivalent. So it should be British Racing Blue if that's the case, and British Racing Yellow.
Honestly, someone's done a colour chart. Navy green does look like British Racing Green.
That's what I'm saying. They've been given it for reasons.
And navy yellow, the official name of it is mustard because, of course, it's the colour mustard. So mustard would be navy yellow.
I found quite a bit about colour. Right, I did find some facts about colour, but I don't want to read a list, so I can skip through. There's two that I found quite interesting. But in general, I found a few things about colour. So I found out that with cars,
yes,
there's been research that white is the safest car colour to have, and I have a white car, so fuck you, Kyle. Red's one of the most dangerous. So it's all about how many the percentage of getting in accidents and stuff. And white is 12% less likely to be in an accident than a black car. White's the safest, then yellow, which has actually ranked higher than white in some studies, cream, and it's to do with basically the easier to see, the more recognisable. Black is the worst, then blue, then red. And also, yellow cars have the highest resale value. This was done by a study of a load of cars that were new, what the resale value was 3 years later, but it wasn't. It was like, for example, they chose one particular make and model of car, and they done when one got a 3-year-old and had a similar amount of miles on and a good service history, so the things you'd be looking for. It was then they'd find examples like that and find all with the same kind of miles and stuff like that and the same treatment. And they've done like all different colours, and they've done that for loads of different cars, and they reckon that yellow is the best one, and silver's the worst.
I'm assuming,
even though silver's the most popular colour.
I'm assuming it's because, well, that's the thing. You would assume, since silver's the most popular colour, you would assume that it's in worse conditions than the others because loads of people have them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yellow, it's a colour that you don't see very often, and when you do usually see it, it's being driven by either a like very new driver, or it's like an old granny type thing. It's someone who isn't going to
rev. In between us.
Yeah, it's like it's someone who isn't going to rev the tits off it, isn't going to crash it or anything, or like intentionally crash it or anything like that, and who is probably going to take care of it because they're going to drive it once a week down to the bingo.
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of a psychological thing of, you imagine that the person in a yellow car isn't going to be a boy racer who's been running around the streets. It's the type of person who goes to bingo once a week, compared to a red car where you immediately think, oh, it's some yobbo shav.
What I did find out as well is about colour, and sticking with the theme of yellow. Yellow and another colour together induces hunger.
Which other colour?
What do you think?
Brown.
You're close.
I see.
What colour does almost every fast food chain have in its logo somewhere, and in the restaurants? What colour are most of the seats and shit? Red, yeah.
Red
and yellow. Red and yellow together make you hungry, and that's why McDonald's have been exploiting it for fucking years. So when you drive past a fast food chain, you see red and yellow and bright colours and stuff like that. You see particularly red and yellow together, and you smell it as well. You're like, oh, I'm hungry. I didn't feel hungry before. And you think, oh, it's because I can smell the food. It's not. It's just as much to do with you can see the colours.
I've got something
That's
on colours.
worrying me now.
Well, you're looking around for red and yellow stuff.
Because I've got the bright red bullshit button next to bright yellow lighter fluid just there, and I look at it every single day because it's right next to the TV.
The lighter fluid has a red top and red writing on it, so technically lighter fluid makes you hungry.
It does? Hold on.
I've got a colour thing as well.
It does. It's got it's red and yellow with a bit of navy blue. Going back to the navy blue.
British Racing Blue.
Honestly, navy blue, right? I've just had a look. It was called marine blue because it's also called marine white, which is the other colour they wear.
Yeah.
And eventually, at some point, they changed it to navy blue because they realised the navy was specifically using it, and then it just got adopted by all the other navies in the world, and it became a thing.
Go on then, Jordan. You had something.
Actually, it's about colour psychology and how it's used as alternative treatment.
Also, by the way, somehow I managed to concave lighter fluid and not blow it up. I don't know how.
Yeah, let's not question that. Anyway, Jordan.
Yes, in this treatment, apparently red is used to stimulate the body and mind to increase circulation.
Yeah.
Yellow is thought to stimulate the nerves and purify the body. Orange is...
We are both being stimulated and purged at the same time when we see a McDonald's sign.
Yes.
And me hungry.
Orange is used to heal the lungs and to increase energy levels.
What? Hold on. What? The fruit or the colour?
The colour.
Which came first?
Hold on. So if you get COVID, you just need to look at an orange and it'll heal your lungs. Look at Jordan's with his witch doctor bullshit.
Blue is believed to soothe illnesses and treat pain.
Is that why the NHS's logo is blue? It quite possibly is.
No. Sorry, my laptop has just popped up. You need to restart your computer now. No.
No. Right in
the middle of the screen, I'm like, no.
Indigo shades are thought to elevate skin problems.
I do know that pink is meant to make you less angry. It's soothing.
Well, it's not really to do with sport, but do you know if people get taken away at St James Park from their seats, they get put into a pink room to calm down?
Yeah, because pink is calming. It's a soothing colour. It's a warm and soothing colour, but whereas red can be a bit more aggressive, it's like a soft colour. So maybe we should paint ours.
So do you know how Manchester United wear red? Is that why everyone hates Man United? Because they wear red?
Because it makes them angry, yeah.
Don't you dare make my fucking room pink.
I thought you were going to say about Man United there. I was like, what?
I've got a pink pot, and that's the only pink thing in my room, I think, other than, like, faded red things.
No wonder people hate Sunderland as well, because they wear red.
Red and white? What is white?
What, so we just piss people off constantly?
Or make them hungry. I don't know if white works the same as yellow.
Right, let's see.
What if... Wait, hold on.
Before we do that, yeah, John's still talking, and I've got other things.
What effects does...
Alright, before you do that then, while you're doing that, I should say, I've found a colour called Pantone 448C, right? Which is referred to as... Go on then.
Sorry, it's... Whenever someone says Pantone, I just think of the fucking hair adverts.
It's Pantene.
Same fucking thing, it's just Frenchified.
It is the ugliest colour in the world.
Is it like a horrible browny diarrhea colour thing? Yeah.
It is described as drab, dark brown. It was selected in 2012 as the colour of plain tobacco and cigarette packaging in Australia after market researchers determined that it was the least attractive colour. But this is the best thing about it. This is fucking Australian. It's all over, isn't it? The Australian Department of Health initially referred to the colour as olive green, but the name was changed after concerns were expressed by the Australian Olive Association.
Why? Also, who has an olive association?
Australia, apparently. Yeah, it's the same colour that you get on packaging, cigarette packages in France, the UK, Ireland, Israel, Norway, New Zealand, Slovenia, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, Thailand, Turkey, Belgium, and the Netherlands. It's also been widely used but erroneously reported as being opaque couche, which basically is French for layered opaque.
Most of the cigarette packets I've seen in England are black.
I don't know if you can see that as a colour.
That's black.
It is a dark brown, but it is basically like 2 shades of black.
So it's like, that's in Netherlands.
So basically...
So
basically what the colour of the tab packets?
It's not really black. It's kind of... I'm going to have to screen share it and you can have a proper look because it's not black.
It does look like it's like 2 shades of black to me. It looks like shit.
Do I know what effect the colour white does?
Yes, go for it.
White offers an inner cleansing and purifying of your thoughts, emotions, and ultimately your spirit, refreshing and strengthening your entire energy system.
I've found the reason why the NHS uses different colours.
Go on then. So we've all been researching random shit while I've been chatting.
Yes. White is an essential design element and can be valued as both a colour and a spatial element. It is key to the overall identity and design for NHS. The NHS Bright Blue is our primary blue. It reflects the trust and security of the brand while also promoting a fresh and contemporary feel. NHS Blue is presented in the NHS logo and is used to reflect the master brand. NHS Dark Blue is a primary highlight colour. It is used selectively to reflect our technical expertise. The yellow is used to reflect our innovation and vibrancy. The dark grey is a supporting colour providing a soft contrast to the main blue colour. Grey tint can be used for user interfaces. The mid-grey can be used as a supporting colour as well as a soft contrast to blue. And the pale grey is the same thing. So they don't have reasons for the pale grey, but they do have reasons for the yellow, which is for their innovation and vibrancy, dark blue, which is for technical expertise, which is why the higher station nurse and doctor you are, usually the darker your uniform is, and sometimes you have yellow stripes. And then the others are just to represent the bland and sort of the cleanliness feel and everything, because, of course, everybody associates white with cleanliness.
Sorry, I had to eject some cats.
No, it's all good. But yeah, because white is cleanliness, they've got that, and the blue is just... You've got your different shades of blue, which sort of are different specialties, and yellow is innovation, apparently. So that cigarette packet has innovation on it.
Can you see this?
Yes.
I can see this.
Do you see how it's not quite black, but it is a horrible brown colour?
Yes.
I agree that it probably is the ugliest colour. But ugliest?
I don't know, I feel like if they managed to get that horrible yellowy browny diarrhea sick colour, that would be worse, because everybody can instantly identify that as something they do not want to touch.
Hold on.
I like how you're looking for yellow brown and seeing if you can find that colour.
Well, if that happens,
I kind of know what colour you mean.
I've also found the effects of black.
The effect of black. Black's usually associated with depression and darkness.
You mean kind of...
Oh,
whoa.
The colour black affects the mind and body by helping to create an inconspicuous feeling, boosting confidence and appearance, increasing the sense of potential and possibility, or producing feelings of emptiness, gloom, or sadness. So, Kyle, why aren't you wearing black? Oh, wait, you are.
I'm always wearing black.
That explains a lot.
Most of my wardrobe is black.
Are you saying that kind of reduces feelings of sadness?
Yes.
I did accidentally realise today that my entire suit was black and red, because my suit jacket is black with a red inline. My shirt was red with black highlights. My waistcoat's black. My tie was red with sort of black stripes spiraling down. And of course I've got the black pants, black socks and black shoes. So I am black and red, so I am anger and sadness.
So basically the devil. Essentially a Lucifer.
I am Lucifer. Why not? Embrace it.
But not the good Lucifer.
Some of the things that I learned about colours is that colourblind people
tomorrow
have better night vision.
I'm sending you just a quick picture. Yeah, because the brain doesn't have to deal with all the different contrasts and pigments and stuff. It can just focus in on what it knows. It has to remove less colours Because when you're in the dark, you can't see the colours, but your brain's constantly trying to find colour.
Right, yeah,
Meanwhile,
so-
if you're already colourblind, you're not trying to find that colour.
So that's what I thought. I was thinking it's like you are used to seeing this is green and this is blue and this is red, and then suddenly it's not. So then it makes you kind of second guess it. Maybe it makes you strain more, whatever. But it's not actually. It's much simpler than that. It's not really anything to do with that because that's what I thought. It's apparently the rods in their eyes are naturally more responsive to dim light, so therefore they can literally see better in the dark.
Fair do. Jordan, the reason I've sent that is because that's one of the versions of the yellow that I'm on about, because it just looks like very dehydrated piss.
Yes,
But
does
it
look like
is in fact
dehydrated
from
piss.
a glow stick. It's from a glow stick. It's
Kyle,
one of the yellow glow
Kyle,
sticks.
have you just pissed in that?
Well, speaking of yellow,
No.
yellow makes you dizzy apparently, which is why they don't use it on airplanes.
Really? Fair
Yeah.
enough.
But why in every American film, when they have the oxygen thing is yellow?
Because you're probably
Because-
already nauseous and dizzy if you're in a plane crash.
It's because we associate yellow and red as emergency colours on
Yeah.
signs and stuff, like fire exits are yellow and red.
And if all the cab lights go off, you
the
can probably
life-
kind of make out the yellow.
Yeah, the
It's
life
bright.
buoys, the life rafts, bright yellow and red. Yellow with like red writing and highlights and stuff. The
That's it.
leaflets, all that sort of stuff.
No,
so
John brings
it's
up a good
just
point.
to be bright.
John brings up a good point. So I get it, it's yellow, it's bright, it's safety, but apparently you can induce nausea. Apparently Van Gogh suffered from it really bad, more than most people. But
Is that because he painted in yellow the most out of anybody?
I don't think he did. No, he used dark colours, man.
No, he did use yellow sometimes.
Yeah, obviously, but that's it. So if he was like on the Titanic, and they were like, right, get the life raft.
Yellow!
You're on the sea, being seasick, and then you're surrounded by bright yellow.
Because
I
the
mean, to be
life
fair,
rafts were yellow.
I think back in those days there were just wooden boats and stuff. But like,
Oh, that's a
yeah,
good point,
nowadays
Not in the
get the
film,
hell
they were yellow.
Yeah, nowadays they're just
See?
bright yellow things.
Oh,
I
no,
think it's
they're
more
usually
just
bright
so
orange now, aren't they?
Yeah,
I
they're
think
bright
it's
orange.
just so the searchlight can sort of see it
Yeah.
because it's a more vibrant colour.
Makes
The
sense.
life jackets
Fuck's
are
sake.
usually yellow. It's usually a bright orange life raft, but the life jackets are usually bright yellow, which isn't great because you're sitting there floating and you can see yourself.
And there is
Unless they've changed them as well.
there
'Cause
is
the
a
last
colour
one I
that you
saw was
can't
bright yellow.
see. You know about that?
I don't. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just desperate for something.
I don't know where he's gone.
He's muted his mic, so he's not doing a J.
I need to find something. Hold on.
Ooh. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, so basically, I don't know. There is. Well, I don't, where's Kyle, you son of a bitch?
He's probably
Where's he gone now?
He's probably away for a number un.
Yeah, no, alright, he's back. Right, Kyle. You little fucker.
Yes, sorry, I've taken some tablets and they basically convert all the liquids in your body into needing to go to the toilet.
That's alright. So, I've talked to you about it before, I'm sure. Right? As one of the darkest substances known, and it absorbs 99.965% of visible light. So if you paint a circle of it on the floor, it looks like a black hole. And it's called a Vanta Black.
Isn't this the one that was like, it was copyrighted by someone so that only they could have it or something?
It was, but do you know what I found out that's even more amazing?
Someone else made the brightest pink,
Yes.
which was copyrighted so that everybody else could use, and other than the artist who made the
Yes.
Vanta Black, so he's
nobody-
the only person in the world that can't use it.
Yeah, he's also artist Anish Kapoor, right, is legally banned from using the world's pinkest pink, right? But the best thing about it is that If you wanted, you are obliged to agree to a legal declaration that states you are not Anish Kapoor, that you are in no way affiliated to Anish Kapoor, and that you are not purchasing this item on behalf of Anish Kapoor or an associate of. So you have to sign a legal documentation to say I've got nothing to do with them. So they can never be.
Imagine if you've never heard of this story. You're just looking for this colour and just go. This looks like an interesting colour. Can I buy it from you? And then they just slam a legal document on your desk, going, right, you have to sign that. Who the fuck's Nish Kapoor?
Anish
Kapoor.
Yeah. So I don't know. Right. So this is brilliant because this Anish Kapoor basically made Vanta Black, which is the world's darkest black, and then copyrighted to nobody. People have used it since. BMW painted a car in it for like a publicity stunt. There's loads of people using it for different things now. You can't get a hold of it or close to it, but it is very expensive. But yeah, so he said, so basically nobody could, even if you wanted to, you couldn't paint a paint that had the world's blackest black and the world's brightest pink in it, no matter who you are in the world. Because you are either, at this point, you were either Anish Kapoor and you could use the world's blackest black, but no one else could. But everyone else in the world could use the world's pinkest pink and you couldn't. But the best thing about it, despite the ban, the Indian-born British artist, the highest-ranking figure on the Design Artists Hot List, got his hands on Semple's pink shade of a reflective powdered pigment that repels light to effect a powerful fluorescence. Kapoor posted a picture of his middle finger dipped in the paint with the caption, "Up yours, #pink." Upset by Kapoor's actions, Semple put out a call to find out how he stole the colour. He claims it was a very shoddy inside job. I was really sad and disappointed that he felt so left out that he needed to orchestrate some kind of conspiracy to steal our pink, he told the zine. Semple also said that he's determined that Kapoor should be punished for his actions, or at least apologise.
Imagine if this turns into a massive lawsuit and it's just like, you owe me £1 million. Why? Because you used my pink.
This is brilliant, though. This is the most British fucking argument ever. So he was like, he should be held accountable for his actions, or at least apologise. He then went on to say, we'll be dubbing him in. He will be told off, and hopefully that will teach him to share his colours in the future. It would be nice if he owned up and said, sorry, give me my pink back.
It's the worst case of putting your finger in the pink.
Loads of Instagram people basically said that Kapoor's response was petty and that he should #share the black, a protest hashtag against Kapoor's monopoly of the black shade. Not a bit in defeat by Kapoor, Semple has also created the world's most glittery glitter, the world's greenest green and the world's yellowest yellow, and urging purchasers to refrain from sharing any with him or his associates. All the paints are completely sold out on his online shop. Semple posted a video mocking Kapoor of his own, which records himself writing, "I will be good, I will share my colours 100 times in white chalk on a blackboard." This is just brilliant. So basically...
It's just artists being pissy.
Yeah. But how British is that? Give me my colour back. Give me my pink back.
Or at least apologise. Yeah. Hey, Christ. I want to know, can you get... You know how you've got the rooms where it's so silent that it could deafen you, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Like, it's so silent that you'll go insane, all those sorts of things.
If you paint one of them in Vanta Black, you wouldn't be able to see anything, is what you're going to say.
So,
yes.
So, yeah. Kyle, that explains your insanity then.
Yeah.
I have found a room with Vanta Black and complete silence, and I have looked into the abyss, and the abyss looked back into me and said, "Fucking cause chaos, my child."
So I'll show you, Kyle, because it's hard to kind of... That was the wrong button. It's hard to kind of understand. Not that I'm saying you can't understand it. I'm just saying, like, it's hard to kind of... It's a bit weird, but... Yeah, So
it's one of those blacks where it looks like an... It's one of those blacks where it's an optical illusion where it looks like it's just...
So
wrong.
It's actually, in the paint itself, it's actually nanotubes that trap the light, so the light goes into bounce around inside and it never comes back out, and that's why it's so effective. So if you can see there, that car, see how you can't see any features on
it? It does basically look like if you put a stock image into Paint or Photoshop or something and then just paint over it with black and don't actually do any features or anything with it.
So you can see there, that's how effective it is. It looks like somebody scribbled it out on Photoshop.
Mm-hmm.
I want some. So imagine a room where everything is just this.
Imagine a room where everything is just that. Everything is completely silent. And it's just completely empty and you're told to stand still. No! Even better, we need to find a way to make someone hover so that they can't even feel anything. That way you've got no sense of feel,
dude.
no sense of no sense of touch.
So you heard of...
no sense of touch, no sense of sight, no sense of sound. And then we'd have to remove all smells, so it's like the complete no smell.
Have you
so that,
ever seen or heard of sensory deprivation tanks?
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds fun.
So
it looks very
it's a
fun.
saline solution so you float. It's a tank that is completely dark. So once you close it, you can't hear anything, you can't see anything, you can't smell anything. I don't know if they plug your nose or not. I'll send you a link after this to one.
Which is kind of a problem because you always smell something because even the air has a certain taste and smell. So you can always smell something. Even if they plug your nose, you'll still smell whatever the material the plug is made of.
Yeah.
Even if there's no air and you're in a complete vacuum, you will smell something. Space has a smell, and it's a complete vacuum of nothingness. So
smells like rotten eggs because all the sulfur out there.
Yeah, so that is going to be one of the hardest things to deprivate our senses from, is our sense of taste and smell, because they are closely interlinked.
This is completely unlinked, but this is to do with you said space. Do you know what is one of the most abundant gases in the universe? There's absolutely fucking loads of it, but it's really, really hard for us to get it. To the point where we might run out at some point. We will run out at some point in the future. It might be soon.
Oh, hydrogen.
No. Helium.
Nitrogen.
Helium.
Oh, sorry. Yes, helium. That's the one.
Because it's
I always
over
get hydrogen
space.
and helium mixed up.
But if you let off a helium balloon, what happens is it goes up so far, the balloon bursts. It comes, obviously, the carcass of it comes back down, whatever's left, the plastic or rubber or latex or whatever. But the helium, just keeps going. Bye.
Yeah. And we are constantly slowly running out of all of our reserves, which means helium balloons, you will eventually run out of them.
And the party trick with helium balloons will be no more.
That's not a bad thing.
The person who manages to set up a rig on either a rocket or the International Space Station to mine helium will become a fucking billionaire, because they will instantly corner the market on that supply.
Who will also how expensive it's going to be to make that? They have to be a billionaire in the first place.
I kind of feel like someone on the International Space Station is probably already working on it. There's three or four nations up there at a time. They've got to compete to do something.
Yeah, not mine.
It's usually something to do with money that will get their country richer and make them rich, or it's something to do with exploration. In which case, even then, helium could be useful in exploration.
Yeah,
I have something, but it's unrelated.
Go on then.
It's what I sent in the group chat the other day about the UK driver, where UK drivers can be fined £5,000 for wearing baggy jeans or long dresses.
So I didn't read this, but I'm guessing
I can sort of link this into space, because can you imagine a spaceman wearing baggy jeans or baggy trousers and accidentally getting a caught on a lever or something?
Well, aren't the trousers baggy anyway because they get in them while still wearing trousers?
I think they've got like clamps or something at the bottom so it doesn't just flare out and catch on stuff. Like, I don't know, but I feel like that should be a thing. Because what if it just catches on stuff?
Yeah, so
we're bad enough with t-shirts and stuff catching on door handles.
Yeah.
What's it like in space where everything's floating around? You're gonna catch something. I know everything's taped down with Velcro and like everything's stuck to the walls and stuff, but you're still gonna catch something.
You've made a mistake. It's not. It's an iron loop fastener. Velcro is a company that made it.
Yes, okay.
Do you know there's a thing? I can't remember the name of it. I'll find it at some point. I can't remember the name of it. But basically, there's a thing where Velcro. So Velcro makes this iron loop fastener, right? Which hundreds of other people make. But their company becomes famous. The problem with that becomes that when you say something like that, you're like, oh yeah, stick it down with some Velcro or something. You could go and buy any Velcro. It doesn't have to be theirs, right? everybody knows the eye loop fasteners as Velcro. So now it's very, very hard for Velcro to copyright and remain in control of the brand because it's internationally recognized as just an eye loop fasteners. So anybody can use the word Velcro, even though it's technically a brand name, because they basically can't hold the copyright because everybody just used it for any fastener that's there.
I'm sure I read something on this, and the reason is because basically they didn't copyright it soon enough, and by the time they did get around to trying to copyright it, it was just so well known that the courts wouldn't allow it because it was just a well known brand of
but it's not just that. Oh, it's not just that. I'll find it now. There are American photocopiers.
Whilst you do that, can I finish my article?
Yes, I'm nearly on it, but yeah.
It's not
Xerox,
just...
Sorry, Jordan.
There you go.
Xerox. Right, a couple of things about photo. So Xerox is a really popular photocopier brand. So in America, everybody in America calls photocopiers Xerox. I don't know if it's Xeroxes or Xerox machines or what, but basically every photocopier. So Xerox absolutely fucking hates it. And it's the same with aspirin. Aspirin is a brand name, not a medication, but everyone calls it a medication.
It's because it's also the name for a chemical, isn't it? It's like the chemical aspirin is in it.
Not technically, it's a play on it.
It usually says it contains aspirin or things like that.
Yeah, but it's not that. That's what it's become known as. Aspirin was a brand name. And also, the guy who invented it, called Chester Carlson, who invented the photocopier, basically he worked in a law office and he had to copy loads and loads and loads of legal documents by hand for years. And he got severe arthritis in his hands because of it, and he got so pissed off that he wanted to invent a machine that would copy things for him, and that's how the photocopier was made.
That's how a lot of machines are made. Just someone gets pissed off.
It's the mother of all invention. Sorry, Jordan.
So and efficiency is just clever laziness.
Yes, that's true.
Anyway, Jordan, please continue about your pants.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just if you're wearing baggy jeans, a long skirt, or a dress. You can also get fined
flip-flops
for wearing the wrong choice of footwear.
Yeah.
You could be running the risk of £5,000 fine if you're pulled over by the police, and also you could get points on your license for this.
Yeah. So
I have an issue with this.
Okay, I'll let you continue first then.
It's just purely because who hasn't gone to the beach and then decided, fuck it, I'll drive home barefoot, or fuck it, I'll drive home in sandals or something.
Okay, so this is the thing. This is the thing. A lot of people believe that it's illegal to drive barefoot in the UK, and it isn't. It's perfectly legal. The only factor is if you can maintain complete control of the car at all times. So if you are pulled over and you are perfectly adjusted with your pedals and you're perfectly competent with your feet and stuff like that, that's fine. If you are barefoot and for whatever reason your feet are slipping off the pedals or whatever, or you've got tiny feet that don't operate the pedals properly, or you're wearing flip-flops, which can very easily become tangled or whatever, or fall off, that's an issue. Yeah. So I completely agree. My girlfriend drives in flip-flops sometimes, and I give her wrong all the time for it. Flip-flops and high heels are not safe to drive in.
It's flip-flops and high heels, no. I will admit, I have more control driving my car in trainers and barefoot than I do in my normal footwear.
Yeah.
Because I wear boots, because if people couldn't tell from my attire, I am a little bit of a goth, or emo, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Basically, I like boots, I like black, I like skulls. Fuck off. But because my boots are so big, sometimes every once in a while I will just catch myself sort of accidentally hitting two pedals at once because I'm not concentrating and like I'm half asleep or something.
Yeah, so
it's a mixture of basically literally being so out of it that I probably shouldn't be driving anyway. But like just. So your foot catches two pedals at once.
Yeah, so I don't do that, but I have a similar kind of thing where I drive most of my time in trainers. I wear trainers a lot because I'm not an eccentric. What did you say? Emo goth kind of thing, whatever you want to call us. I prefer
Well,
to just
yeah,
say you're a
because
bit eccentric.
I've been called everything under the sun in the past.
Satan.
I've been called emo by goths because I don't wear the full gothic makeup and stuff, and I've been called goth by emos because I'm more emo than them and all sorts. So
Yeah, so I just wear trainers and I'm fine. I'm happy driving about my car in trainers and stuff, but I find it easier. So I should, and I do sometimes, drive to work with my trainers in my car, then I change them my work boots, and then obviously I drive a work van. Now the work van is like there is more space, there is more pedal space. Naturally, it's a van. It's chunky. You're meant to be wearing work boots when you're driving it most of the time, so it's designed that way. But then most of the time when I come home, I just want to get home. So I just jump in the car, don't bother put my trainers on, drive my car in my work boots, which is fine, and I can do it. But I'm constantly kicking at my own feet and like tapping, like when I'm operating pedals, and that's so I get what you mean. It's a bit of a faff when your feet are too big to fit around the pedals.
It's actually
it's just because the boots like add a size to your feet, or it just like the steel toe caps doesn't let you bend your foot the way you're meant to when you drive, that type thing.
So it's known as Rule 97 of the Highway Code.
Yeah, so...
they should never call it rule. Also, when did the Highway Code have rules and then numbers? The Highway Code was always, this is this section about signs, this is this section about this. It never had a list of 100 rules.
It says...
it's probably more than 100. I have another thing.
It says, the clothing and footwear you choose to wear whilst you are driving must not prevent you from using the controls in the correct manner.
Which makes sense.
So obviously they have never been in a car with Kyle because he uses his knees sometimes.
Well, yeah, we could get pulled over that. That's not his clothing.
However, I am still in control and in a well-handling manner.
No, because if there was something going on, you needed to steer aggressively in one direction or the other. You don't have both hands on the wheel. You can't do that with your knees.
You can. It just involves you basically kneeing the steering wheel and hurting your knee in the process.
No, you can't. You could not do an emergency 90-degree turn with your knees.
I have never had to do an emergency 90-degree turn in my life.
It's not the point.
They also
I
say,
don't know anybody who has had to do an emergency 90-degree turn. I feel in a lot of situations, doing an emergency 90-degree turn would be the worst thing you can do. The best thing to do would just be to slam the fucking brakes on.
Well, yeah, but all right, so you brake and then you've only got one knee on the steering wheel. You could lose control a lot easier.
Because every time I brake, I put down the clutch as well. Because that's what I was taught to do.
Anyways, about boots.
Yes.
Boots. It says, huge chunky boots could impair your ability to drive and are also considered unsafe.
Yeah, as we've just proved.
Yes.
However, they are fucking comfortable and I will not stop wearing them.
Also, it says, take care when driving with sunglasses on.
Yeah. So if you leave your sunglasses on and it becomes a low light situation, you can also get wrong for it because obviously then It says
it means that your peripheral vision is obscured.
Yeah.
Right, your peripheral vision is obscured by the fucking pillars in the car, especially with some makes.
If you wear just glasses.
And if you wear just glasses, yeah. But my sunglasses don't have fucking rims on them, so they don't have anything there. They've literally just got theirs. So I forget they exist because they are so clear to me. And I have driven home at 1 o'clock in the morning wearing them because I've forgotten I've been wearing them, and they've made
Kyle,
no fucking difference.
Yes, that's because that is morning to you, Kyle. And even though it is morning, it is your time when you are awake fully.
Still a point.
Also, I've got a pair of sunglasses that just make the world yellow. It sort of makes it darker, but like not in a darker way. It just makes everything yellow, and somehow that makes the sun less harmful to my eyes.
I also have respect for a pensioner here.
Which one?
Why? Is the pensioner said "fuck you"?
No, pensioner fined £5,000 for going for a pint when he should have been isolating.
What? That's just your future, John.
A pensioner has been locked up and whacked with a £5,000 fine after he went out for a pint while he should have been self-isolating.
Seems a bit harsh.
I mean, I don't know, because if he's meant to be self-isolating, that means he's got COVID, which means he's went to the pub while infecting everybody he's met along the way.
Or he's been in contact with somebody that's got COVID.
If that's the case, fair enough, but if it was like because he's a vulnerable person and they told him he should isolate, and he chose to risk his own health to go do it, then that's a bit harsh.
Henry McCarthy.
Honestly, I can kind of see my granddad Billy doing it.
Yeah,
Henry
100%.
McCarthy, 79, was told isolate for 14 days after he returned to Guernsey from the UK mainland.
All right, so it wasn't for anything. It was just because he went back to a different country. Well, the same country.
It was because he travelled.
Yeah,
because he travelled to the UK. But when police came around to check, he was following the rules. They found his car had gone. The car was.
When do the police check you're following rules?
Well,
ever.
They're starting to do that now.
Right, can I just point out that he wasn't Guernsey? There's probably only like 5 people on the whole island.
They're the only. And also, it's probably because Track and Trace probably couldn't get in touch with him, so.
Because he was at the pub?
The car was spotted at the car park of a pub called the Krabby Jack. Later that day, and inside McCarthy.
I love pub names.
And later that day, and inside, McCarthy was found sat at a table with a partially drank pint. He told the cops he'd be there for around an hour, and that he believed he was isolated because he was by himself.
I
mean, how quiet was the pub? Also, when did this occur?
Because everyone was isolated.
October 2020, last year.
Okay, I'm about to say, because this is when the pubs were still open to drink.
I think it was just before the lockdown. In court, he admitted the breach and was fined £5,000. He was told he must stay in custody until at least £1,500 of the fine is paid, with the rest due by the end of next month.
That's a lot for a fucking pensioner. That's like his entire...
Yeah, but apparently it's if you break COVID rules, it's worse than basically any other crime at the minute.
Good news, guys. Like, I understand the whole... Why you've been fined £5,000. What I don't like is you have to pay it within a month. I don't get paid £5,000 in a month. How the fuck would I pay that? How the fuck would most people pay that?
Most
people don't care.
Right, Kyle, you like pub names.
Yes.
So I found the best pub names in the UK.
Because they are always random as fuck, and there's only one pub I have ever seen that has a purple sign, purple everything, and has purple interior, it's in fucking Ashton.
What was that pub called that had, didn't someone put a picture of Dominic Cummings, Matt Hancock, and Boris Johnson? I think it was the Three Dickheads, I think it's called the pub.
It was probably just Three Cocks or something.
Right, Kyle, do you want to know some of the best pub names in the UK?
Go for it, because we'll love pub.
No, I don't.
Pub names here are spectacular.
I don't necessarily know where they are, but the first one is called the Bung Hole.
Yes. It's probably off bloody Beavis and thing.
Beavis and Butthead.
The Dirty Duck.
That's an excellent name. There must be a story behind that name. If a name's like that, it's got a story behind it.
Dude, there's a tavern called The Famous Cock.
Yes. I bet you it's got a picture of a rooster on it as well.
Oh, this one's even better. The Tumbledown Dick Hotel.
Ooh, this is reminding us. There's a drive. There's a those food places that drive around, burger vans, that type thing.
Yeah.
There's a chicken one, and it's classed as sort of insulting, and it's been banned from a city because. To say it's not because of this, but basically their logo is a cock and balls because it's to do with a cock, it's to do with a chicken, and the logo looks like it's just the head and then a round bit, which is meant to be its body, but it looks like a cock and balls, and it uses puns that are basically that, and it's been banned from an entire city because it's so offensive and shit, but it's not. It's just a good laugh, but people are too sensitive nowadays.
Yeah.
Continue, DSR.
The Devil's Punch Bowl.
I like that one.
The Elusive Camel.
The Elusive Cow.
Camel.
The Elusive
I'm about to say.
Right, are you ready? Because I've got one here. It's got a picture of 4 old English soldiers from like the 1800s, right? And in front of it, they're sitting in front of the house, and it's called Casa Alta. Right? Which is Italian, and it means high house. Yeah? But the pub has used that as their picture and then called itself the Cases Altered.
I've got another one. The Hun Drawn and Quartered.
Ooh.
Nice.
Let's go. What about the Old 13th Cheshire Astley Volunteer Rifleman Corps in?
It'll be shortened to the inn. There's a lot of them. Like one of the bars in Newsham is the Newsham
Victory.
the Newsham Victory for retired soldiers and servicemen pub or something, and it just gets called the Newsham Vic.
Yeah. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, I love that
They're
sign.
fucking going for it.
Why wouldn't you? The old 13th Cheshire. Put it back on screen.
God damn it.
I've got one here. The three-legged mare known as locally as the Wonky Donkey.
The Wonky Donkey. I like it. The old 13th Cheshire Astley Volunteer Rifleman Corps Inn.
Cool.
You just call it 13th or something. I'm off to the 13th.
Yeah, the old 13th. What about Dirty Dicks?
Yeah.
Dirty
Look at
Nelly.
the guy on the sign.
He is a dirty dick. Look at him. He's a very dirty dick.
I found one here. Yeah, Ye Old Cock Tavern.
I've got a better one.
As Stefan's scrolling down to Ye Old Fighting Cocks.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do it. I want to go here.
The Goat and Tricycle. I feel like that's got a story behind it as well.
What? There was some guy with his goat.
If pub names don't have stories behind them, they're a bit upsetting. Like, they're a bit disappointing, sorry, I should say.
What about this one then? Where's this name from?
Fanny on the Hill.
Fanny on the Hill. I mean, you've got... If it's on a hill and it's got barmaids...
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oily Johnnies. The legend of Oily Johnnies.
Yeah, the legend of...
the
this is a good one as well.
The Nobody Inn. I like that one.
Nobody's in.
I'm sure I heard somewhere the like, you know how Americans don't call things the same as we do.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was something where it's like they don't understand the term rubber. Like, we call condoms rubbers. They don't call them that, so they get confused if you call them a rubber or some shit like that.
I've been watching a similar thing, so it's Americans learning English words and stuff, and what we would call an eraser, so a pencil eraser, is made out of rubber traditionally, so we in this country call it a rubber. But when you teach Americans that a lot of us just go, it's a rubber, then they get giggly because that just means a condom in their language, and they think that we don't know that.
Fair do. I couldn't remember which way it was, but I knew that it was something stupid.
I bet there's no
there's loads of other
I bet there's
What's the story here,
politicians been to this one. The hairy.
Sorry, Jordan, what?
I bet there's no politician or celebrities in this one. The jolly taxpayer.
I like that, Jordan.
I like that pub.
You'd
never
Jordan.
find it up north, like.
I like Jordan's pun on it as well. Yeah, Kyle, what's your story behind this one then?
The hairy lemon, where it looks like a hobo trying to go around saying, "Nickel to see the hairy lemon, nickel to see the hairy lemon."
Nobody wants to see his hairy lemon.
No. Shall we move on to the next topic, which was
we
music?
should, because we're getting carried away.
Since
Kyle,
we're just stuck on a list of pub names.
There's a one called The Quiet Woman, and the picture is a woman with no head.
I like the fact that the sign looks like it's got space for a head and just someone's painted off, like, not painted it.
I want to go here.
My father's mustache.
Right. Off the fucking site, otherwise we'll get stuck here constantly because the next one's the bucket of blood.
I'm just nipping out to my father's mustache.
Yeah.
Right, I've got one for music.
Shall we do music first or Unbelievable?
Music.
Music? Okay. Jordan, what's your music?
It's to do with how music helps mental health.
Oh, that is good, Jordan, because this month is Mental Health Month.
Is it?
Did you know that?
No, it's not.
My mental health is so fucked I never pay attention to that shit.
Yeah, so people should go donate to mental health charities instead of buying us cups of coffee and the usual shit Jay wants you to do.
So, music apparently reduces pain and anxiety.
In juices?
Reduces.
Oh.
Not in juices.
What reduces it? Painting.
No, music.
No.
Listen to music.
Yeah, Kyle, music reduces pain.
No, I thought Jordan said like music and painting reduced the anxiety or something. I thought
No.
he said something else.
He said music reduces pain and anxiety, and I thought we said induces.
Because it says
pain.
here, Bob Marley once sang, "One good thing about music: when it hits you, you feel no pain."
Well, it depends.
you do.
What about a really powerful speaker?
Yeah, you do get pain from that.
Yeah.
Or the Irish woman who has the record for the loudest shout
It's like
ever,
if you
or
listen,
the loudest
it's,
noise
if you
ever.
listen
Yeah,
to
we should
rock
shout quiet.
If you listen to rock music, you get more angry.
Yeah, you do. So people who listen to rock music, going back to cars, but I'm not staying there, just linking back. People who listen to rock music drive quicker and are more aggressive in traffic.
I don't know what you're on about. I drive perfectly
Yeah, of
normal,
course.
thank you.
Yeah,
Kyle. I drive on my knees and I
I was in
3
the car
millimeters
for you
off the
on Sunday.
front.
No, I am the most relaxed driver you will ever fucking meet, because I could fall asleep at the wheel and
That's
still
what
somehow
Corey
end up
Jones
home.
did.
Kyle, press that bullshit button.
Yeah, you're really
The
angry.
bullshit button. No. But no, I've never fallen asleep at the wheel, but like there have been moments, you know, those moments where you're just sort of driving and you're just so relaxed, and then you look up and you're like, how the fuck did I get here? I'm at my destination.
Yeah, that's just muscle memory because you know where you're going, and I do.
But for me, it says here as well, apparently, that if music was a drug, it would be marketable.
It is marketable.
Yeah, it is marketable. That's how it works.
No, like if it was a drug, like if they were selling it as a drug.
Yeah, but it's still marketable anyway.
It is marketable in that way as well, because there are literal therapies that you pay to go to spas and stuff that do music therapy.
It says music is non-invasive, safe, cheap intervention that should be available to everyone undergoing surgery.
It's non-invasive?
Non-invasive, yeah.
I'm guessing that means it doesn't shove anything in your body.
What about a really powerful speaker?
I mean, it still technically doesn't shove anything in your body, it just fucks up your ears.
It could implode your body. The sound waves could go through your body.
There was a study done in 2014 by researchers from Denmark that found music may be beneficial for patients with fibromyalgia.
Well,
a disorder that causes muscle and joint pain and fatigue.
I know someone who has fibromyalgia and they're always angry.
I know someone that's got fibromyalgia and they are always angry.
I know someone who has fibro and they are usually always depressed. Sorry, sweetheart. She's on pills for it, though. She's also is angry sometimes. Love you.
Listening to calm, relaxing, self-chosen music reduced pain and increased functional mobility significantly among 22 patients with fibromyalgia, according to the investigators.
It's usually things like nice piano melodies, like Beethoven's Silence, things like that. Not pop and reggae and shit like that.
Why do you think most
reggae,
bus stations or like McDonald's put classic on, like classical music?
Get rid of the punks. Get rid of them young punks hanging around.
I spoke to a McDonald's employee. The reason that they do it in Ashington is literally to get rid of the chavs at 1 a.m.
What I'm saying,
doesn't work because Kyle turns up for his 18 helpings of pancakes.
I'm not a chav.
No, he's an emo, so it would still kill him.
I do sit there, sort of waving my hands along with the tune and just being very happy that music's playing, because the new normal shit's terrible.
Why does the music appear to ease pain? While the exact mechanisms remain unclear, many researchers believe one reason is because listening to music triggers the release of opioids in the brain's natural pain relievers.
Alright, so why don't you just give them opium? It'll be easier.
That's illegal.
More expensive to produce and requires slaves.
You just go back to selling it to China.
So basically the whole world just becomes a bunch of Sherlock Holmes.
Pretty much.
No, Sherlock Holmes was addicted to meth.
No, he was addicted to opium originally.
He was addicted to everything originally.
Addicted to base.
It's your brain basically handles everything. So if your brain's already being overridden by something else, then it doesn't find the need to tell you about
And-
things. It's sort of like how you can forget that something's hurting by making something else hurt, because your brain goes, "Ooh, that's a new thing. Focus on that."
An effective stress. It's an
You
effective
cut your
stress
spinal cord, then you
reliever
wouldn't
as
feel
well.
anything.
Because did you realise when people feel stressed, most people automatically put music on.
Really? I don't put music on when I feel stressed. I start shouting at things and throwing things around.
I don't know when I feel stressed because I just listen to music permanently, like all the
Yeah,
all the
but
time.
yours is
and
like
I'm
aggressive rock music, so
And I don't know. I don't know when I feel stressed because my brain doesn't do stress. It sort of gets to the point where I have nosebleeds and nearly collapse, and then goes, "Okay, maybe it's time for a break."
they've also found the key to parenting
Don't have
through
kids.
music. No, it says they found that infants remained calmer for longer when they were played music.
Also, it can't follow you when you. No.
Just put them headphones when you're putting them to bed. There you go.
That's
Listen to some
been known
music.
that's been known for years. Why do you think you've got music boxes and when you've got babies that
Mobiles.
have got the little turnstile things above them?
Mobiles.
And yes, mobiles. Why do you think they play soft, gentle sort of little bell tunes?
Oh, they're not blasting
It's been known
Mozart.
for years. It's been known for years. I mean, to be fair, I feel sorry for my child. It'll be growing up on rock music.
Not if it comes to Uncle Jones,
So-
it won't.
You don't know something about rock music, Kyle?
Yes, go for it.
Do you want to know? Oh, where have I put this? Right, I've lost what I was looking at and I found Barry Manilow. How's that happen?
Anyways,
It's you.
whilst you're looking, it also helps music with memory.
It does if you can remember things. It's why when you're learning different languages and stuff, they sort of try and teach you songs like Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques.
That's why they say as well, like older people or people with Alzheimer's or dementia, for them to play their music from when they were young.
Right, Kyle.
It makes them remember. It does help remember because it triggers that part of the brain.
Do you want to know who was the first and so far the only band to have played on all 7 continents?
Queen!
No.
Isn't it the Beatles because they got kicked out
No.
of one? Or like it's some
The Who.
like, big famous band. No,
Yeah.
it's
It's The Who.
It's not The Who, but it is a famous band.
Rolling Stones.
No.
Iron Maiden.
No.
Duran Duran.
Metallica. Sorry, Metallica.
Yes. Metallica.
It is Metallica. I'm sure we've had this already. Yes.
Possibly. In 2013, they achieved a Guinness World Record after becoming the first musical act to play a concert on all 7 continents. They set this record after performing for 120 scientist competition winners in a transparent dome at the Carlini Station in Antarctica. The band actually held the concert on all 7 continents within 1 calendar year, so do have that record as well, following tour dates in North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. And, Kyle, do you know what nation?
Yes.
Do you know what nation has the most metalheads per capita? Sorry, the most metal bands per capita.
Russia.
Isn't it Finland?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
so they
Finland.
have 53.5 metal bands per 100,000 people.
It's because Finland's big in the death metal scene, and if you look at a lot of their Eurovision things, it is death metal and stuff. And if you look at a lot of Finnish sportsmen, they do listen to rock music because it's just so popular over there. It's not as out of the loop and not in the charts around here. Rock music is in the charts a lot more over there, apparently, which
No,
is fucking
in this
awesome.
country it's pop music, which is
And
even music.
do you also know that you can get, in 2015, a Canadian astronaut called Chris Hadfield released his first album, which was entirely recorded while he was in orbit in space.
Yes, because Chris Hadfield is an awesome astronaut who's done loads of different talks and stuff, and he's one of the ones I watch when he reviews space footage and stuff, and he took a guitar up because you're allowed to take items up to entertain yourself, and he took a guitar up and did performances and stuff.
Yeah.
He does live performances on the International Space Station.
I didn't know.
Or he did. I don't know if he's allowed up anymore because he's a bit old.
I didn't know this, but apparently music in a way helps with recovering brain injuries and treating seizures and strokes.
It does.
Music also helps plants grow as well.
Increasingly, research is indicating that music can help aid recovery from brain injuries such as that from a stroke. In 2008, a study conducted by researchers from the University of Helsinki in Finland found that stroke patients who listened to music for around 2 hours daily had better verbal memory and attention, and a more positive mood than those who listened to an audiobook or nothing at all.
Yeah, music is one of the best inventions ever made by man. The rhythm and everything just gets your brain going, and it sort of rewires your brain a little bit. It just the rhythm and the repetitiveness. It's really good for you.
Apparently, as well, it aids in speech recovery following a stroke.
It's one of those things. Like, we'll all have that thing where you can think of a moment back in time, and you'll have a song associated to it. Like, I can remember playing the first Assassin's Creed game and listening to Deep Purple, or planning D&D. When we first got into D&D and listening to Motionless in White voices. Every once in a while you'll have a song associated with a memory because it'll just be so impactful, and you'll just have listened to that song so much during that period in time.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. It's basically you create the links. So if you hear that song again, you immediately create the link to that memory. That memory immediately becomes at the forefront of your mind, and you immediately remember that information, which can help with speech and stuff if you were in that memory, if you were talking in that memory, or if you remember a scene in the game, or if you do anything like that, because it'll help you talk about that memory as well.
Oh. Do you know who invented music?
Technically, there was no main inventor, because music is just making noise with a bit of a rhythm. So technically, cavemen.
Nope.
Because of being around fires, going ooh ooh and hitting things.
Apparently, it was Pythagoras.
It was not. Pythagoras might have named the fucker, but music's been around since the Stone Age.
He is known as the inventor of music.
He's not.
Why did Greeks get all the credit?
He's the inventor of a fucking maths problem that is completely pointless to learn, but everybody needs to learn it for some stupid reason.
Also, what came first, language or music?
Music.
Music, yeah.
Because like I said, the cavemen, even when they would just make noises and stuff. Listen to nature. Nature has music in it. Everything has music. The river flowing has music in it. The formation of ground has music in it. Everything has music in it if you look and listen.
That's why listening to nature, the sound of nature is a calming thing.
Language has to be developed, to the point where, like, a Native American, and no, I'm not talking about you, actual modern day American twats. I'm talking about Indians,
actual Americans,
the real Americans,
not
the fake British ones.
Yes.
Not the ones that commit
British
treason.
and Irish and French and Dutch and everybody else. But yeah, it's the native saw that we had a written language but they didn't at the time. So he developed a written language that was supposedly much easier to learn than English and only took about 2 weeks. Within a set amount of time,
but
his
English
entire
is a pain in the
people
arse to learn.
knew this written language within like a very short span because he invented it, because he saw ours and just went, fuck it, I can improve on that.
English is a proper pain in the arse to learn though, because it's made up of so many different languages.
Yeah. Also, talking about colonials and all that sort of shit, Australia is one of the only countries that did not develop archery independently because we took it there.
Is Australia that prison that's upside down?
Yeah,
yes.
It's that place that's upside down.
Because most countries, most cultures, most countries developed some form of archery one way or another. Everybody had a different sort of style, but everybody developed the let's get a bit of wood, put a string on it, and shoot another bit of wood with a pointy thing on the end from it. But Australia didn't really develop that until it started getting colonized and until people took it over there. They didn't independently develop it.
Because didn't the Aboriginals use spears and bolos?
Yes.
spears, bolos, slings, all that sort of stuff, which were much more effective in their environment than a bow and arrow because of the animals and stuff that they were trying to hunt and what they were dealing with.
It's easier to kangaroo up and stuff.
Do you know why music can make us cry?
Because it's sad.
Because it makes the emotional links, like I said before, it connects the emotional links to emotional memories and things like that, and it causes you to think about certain things. So if you hear a sad song, you usually connect it with something.
Yeah.
Right. Why classical music can make us cry?
Again, emotional links.
Tears and chills or tingles on hearing music are a psychological response which activates the parasympathetic nervous system, as well as the reward-related brain regions of the brain. Studies have shown that around 25% of the population experiences reaction to music, not relation.
I feel like if you don't react to music, it's because you're deaf. And even then, some people still react to music because they feel the vibrations.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. You can still feel vibration. Yeah.
Oh, did you know the first human originated from the African continent?
Woman.
Between 70,000 and 100,000 years ago, Homo sapiens began migrating from the African continent and populated parts of Europe and Asia. They reached the Australian continent in canoes sometimes between the 35,000 to 65,000 years ago. So, yeah, apparently humans originated from Africa.
Yeah. Well, all life originated from Africa.
For years.
Yeah, all life originated from Africa.
And no, I'll not say it.
Yeah. From when we were a big Pangea and not split off continents. Because newsflash to people who didn't know, Earth was at one point a giant Pangea, which is just one big landmass.
They also reckon humans will go extinct in the next 7.8 billion years.
Oh, fun.
Well, not be there, so it's fine.
Yeah. Fun.
95% probability of that happening.
Can we speed it up? Oh, wait, we are.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm working something out, so...
Are humans still evolving? Apparently not.
Yes.
We are apparently at our final evolution. Or there's some people in the world that haven't even gotten past the first part.
Yeah.
I can't name them because we can't go political.
Well, I mean, you can't name them because it's most of the population of Earth at this point.
Yeah. Most of the people that were born in the millennium.
That's us, you dumbass.
Yeah, but we were 2000 after 2000. I meant the actual proper millennium.
But no, yeah,
19.
Oh no, humans.
What were we talking about? Music.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I put it onto like
20.
Politics.
No, it was. No, why do they say this? When was Adam and Eve born? There's no such thing. They weren't real.
I want to know what Stefan's doing where he's just on his phone then randomly going 19, 20.
No, I'm working out years, right? So, hold on. I'm going back to musical instruments here. Do you know what the most expensive musical instrument ever sold was?
I want to say it's going to be an old classical piano, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's either an ancient tribal drum that was stolen by colonists, or if it's like some gold-plated flute.
No,
because I can imagine it being any of them.
A drum.
Have you ever heard
of a didgeridoo?
I know that some violins sell for like £20,000 and stuff, but that's not the most expensive.
Of course, because from Africa.
Have you ever heard of Antonio? Go on then.
Is it a musical artist is it like a musical artist's
Oh,
instrument who
no,
passed
right.
away and it's like the last one they
I'll
use or
give you a
something?
clue. It's nothing to do with who played it in their lifetime. It's who made
Right.
it.
Okay.
So I'll say something. You might. Have you ever heard of Antonio Stradivari?
No.
Yes, because Stradivari violins and
Yes.
basses and things are some of the
Yes.
most expensive you can get in the world because they're meant to be the best and like handmade from scratch and everything.
Yes, Stradivarius violins. So
Yes.
there's a couple of things. So first of all, I want to address that. Basically, they were made in the 17th and 18th centuries by the Italian family called Stradivari, particularly Antonio Stradivari, right? Who in Latin would have been Antonio Stradivarius, so hence the Stradivarius violins.
Yes.
They were absolutely. They made a load of different violins, violas, cellos, and other string instruments that are now revered throughout the world. The market values are insane, but what I will go on to is basically they were absolutely beautifully made, and they've been like idealized, and people. It's kind of a placebo, so people will say that the Stradivarius violins are so well made and so uniquely made that they actually produce a better sound. And if you're
However, they don't.
if you're told that this is a Stradivarius violin and you were playing it, you will think that that is a better sounding thing, but it's a placebo because they've done blind tests, including, and this is great if you had this right. So where was that one that I was looking for? In a test in 2009, the British violinist Matthew Trussler played his 1711 Stradivarius, said to be worth $2 million.
Is this where he played in? He played in public basically as a busker, and he made £30 during the day from tips because
No.
everybody like. Because there is a case, I don't know if it's the same guy, but they basically took a violin that's worth a shit ton of money and they sell out concerts for like where a ticket's worth £1,000 and they sell out every night. And they went and basically busked in a underground station or something, and the busked there for I think it was something like 4, 5, 8 hours, something like that, and they
Yeah.
only got about £30
Yeah,
compared
no.
to
So
and it's the same performance, same everything. They checked the acoustics and everything, same everything. It's just because he wasn't in a theatre.
yeah, there's been loads of them, but the thing is now that they're very hard to prove because they're still so sought after. So there's been loads of blind things, and a lot of people will identify what they think is the best violin. They will identify what they think is the Stradivarius, but really, it's not any different. It's just pretty much down to the way it's made and stuff. But there are so many people. So it's thought to be due to wood density. They've x-rayed them and all sorts. I mean, it's mad. So there are about 650 original Stradivari instruments that include harps, guitars, violas, cellos, and violins that are still survive today. But there are thousands upon thousands of violins that have been made in tribute to Stradivari, copying his model and bearing labels that read Stradivarius. The presence of the Stradivarius label, therefore, does not confirm that the instrument is a genuine work of Stradivari.
I hate it when people do that. If you're going to make a tribute, don't copy the manufacturing symbols because that's it's no longer a tribute and it's just a copy and it's plagiarism. If you're gonna make a tribute, put your symbol on it and have like in tribute to, and then have the name or something. Don't have their symbol because then it becomes plagiarism and copyright and everything.
What I will say is, I'm not saying that it doesn't sound. I'm not saying it does sound better and it's a load of bullshit and the blind tests are a load of shit and stuff like that. I'm not saying it sounds better than. So, for example, the found that I will say. I'll continue with that a little bit. In 2009, he played the 1711 Stradivarius, which is said to be worth $2 million. He also played 4 modern violins made by the Swiss violin maker Michael Ronheimer. One of Ronheimer's violins made with wood that the EMPA, which is the Swiss Federal Laboratories for Materials, Science and Technology researcher Francis Schwartz had treated with fungi, and that received 90 of the 180 votes for what people thought was the best tone in this study. The Stradivarius actually came second with 39 notes. So there are ways and technology now of producing better sounds. I'm not saying it's the best sounding, but if you've ever heard them played by a professional violinist, obviously someone who's really good, they do sound beautiful. But do you want to guess how much the most expensive one is that's sold?
20 million.
You're closer than you might think. So it was in 2011, the Lady Blunt Stradivarius violin sold for a world record of 15.9 million. Right?
Yep.
Now
people will collect stuff.
Now, what I want to talk about here is it was named after Lord Byron's granddaughter, Lady Anne Blunt, who owned it for 30 years. And it was sold by the Nippon Music Federation in aid of the Japanese earthquake and tsunami appeal in spring 2014. Sorry, in 11. But in spring 2014, the McDonald's viola was put up for auction through the musical instrument auction house, Ingalls and Hayday, in conjunction with Sotheby's, via a silent auction with a minimum bid of $45 million. The auction failed to reach its minimum bid by the 25th of June, and the viola was not sold. However, so you think 45 million, you think that's insane?
For a violin that will probably never be played and either just put in a museum or some rich cunt's display case.
Yeah, we also
like
think
so
it
many
can't
other
possibly
things,
be worth
yes.
that. Like, you think 15 million is ridiculous. With 45, you just take the piss.
I don't know. I know that someone bought a bottle of wine for £1 million, so you know.
Yeah, so what I was working out is that
money has no value to rich cunts.
Yeah, so what I was working out, so there are a few that have been stolen and are still missing, but that's what I was working out before is art. That experts say that these violins increase in value between 10 and 15% every single year.
Right.
So I've used the minimum of 10%. Yeah. And I've went year by year by year. So in the last 10 years, so 2011, Lady Blunt, which was a violin from 1721, sold in London for 15.9 million. Now, that's the most expensive musical instrument in history. Now, if that was sold in 2011 for 15.9 million, and it increases by 10% every year, right? That means that by 2024, this violin theoretically should be worth 49.19 million. Now, that is an investment if it pans out like that.
That is an investment. It will probably just be sat in a display case anyway.
Oh, 100%, but still, dude. Also, can we just... The most British thing ever. You've got a violin that is increasing 10% on its value every single year, and it is currently worth, at the time, about $2 million, right? And some guy goes, "Oh, can you come and play it to some people so that I can see if it sounds better than some modern violins?" Yeah, if you want.
Wait, he probably uses it to perform anyway, so it's probably no skin off his back, and he probably got paid for it, to be honest.
Dude. But yeah, so it's insane.
I've got a thing for you to guess.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What is the oldest musical instrument known to man?
Ooh, well, it's got to be a wind instrument.
Grass, because you can split it and play it.
Nope.
Or your hands.
Nope.
The oldest musical instrument known to man.
Your hands or your mouth.
Oh.
Your tongue, because you make most of your noise with your tongue.
Dude, is it a wind instrument? It's got to be a wind instrument, because what I had there before...
I don't know, because you would have had to have technical knowledge of drilling holes and stuff. It might have been much easier just getting a bit of wood and hitting on it and using it as a basic drum.
Okay, but
is it
then
the drum?
Is that an instrument? I think, is it a wind instrument?
It is a wind instrument.
It didn't make sense because you could blow through tubes and stuff and make some kind of noise. You could have like some kind of horn, war horns. What Neanderthals, prehistoric, used to blow things, didn't they? I don't know if they were horns.
I don't know. Is it a horn, Jordan?
No.
It's a wind instrument.
Is it a flute?
Is it a trombone?
It's a flute.
It's a flute.
Is it a saxophone?
It was known as the Neanderthal flute.
So I told you Neanderthals had instruments.
I like it.
So together we got there. It's some kind of fucked up way.
I feel like Neanderthals would have probably had horns before they had flutes.
Also, what is
yes, shut up. Yeah.
What is the oldest song in the world?
Nobody knows because nobody would know what the hell people were singing in caveman days.
Right, I'll give you. There's 8 of the oldest songs. This is the only time I'm going to say these. I know we're not supposed to.
Is one of them Journey? Don't Stop Believing.
No, this is old music.
Yeah, so is that.
The 8 is in the year created the mid 13th century. In the origins of England.
So it's not the oldest piece of music. It's the oldest recorded piece of music.
Yeah, it's the oldest recorded piece of music.
Also, well, no, because Jordan didn't say piece of music. Jordan said songs. People played music before there were commercially recorded songs.
Oldest song recorded. Then
it says Suma is I See You Men In was the 8th oldest song.
Yeah, it's not catchy.
7 in 387 BC. Or CE. What the hell's CE?
Common Era.
Country
BC
of origin.
is before Common Era.
Yeah, created 387 CE. Country of origin, Roman Empire. Te Deum.
Te Deum?
Which was...
I feel like it's going to be war chants, basically.
Which was also called a song of the church, and an Ambrosian hymn is also one of the earliest Christian songs of praise. Number 6, which was created in the 4th century CE, Let All Mortals' Flesh Keep Silent. This was a country of origin was Greece.
You see, the thing is, if you're counting hymns as songs, I think you should disallow them because they're not songs. They're terrible. They were not made to go along with music.
Technically, they are.
If you listen to,
I'm not saying it's right, but don't piss off every religion at the same time.
It's one of those things of if you listen to a hymn with the music being played with it, it's a case of the music is never in time. They never coordinated it.
That's why I also say pop music's not a song, but you know.
Very true.
He's got a point.
And some pop music is alright. It has
pop music now is not music.
Most music now isn't.
Some pop music. Most music now isn't, but some pop music now is okay. It's still got nice beats and still got bits and pieces.
Really pissing me off at the minute with most of the music that's in the charts.
It's the same music.
It's 2 lines, right? So it's 2 lines of fucking music, like 2
repeated.
Sorry, yeah, and then they just repeat it, and they're like, "Oh, look at this great brand new song." No, it's not. It's fucking shit. If you write 2 lines of words and then go sing that 53 times, that is not a fucking song. There's no structure. Yeah. The basic structure of music is a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, a verse.
So the structure of the Foo Fighters, then?
Only Foo Fighters
alone.
No,
the Foo Fighters have got different songs.
This will go off, Jordan.
The Foo Fighters have got good songs. We're talking about the people like fucking... Oh, what is it? Where they just sit there going, cash money, cash money, cash money. No, shit like that.
I'm going to send you one that I want you to listen to after this because it's so fucking annoying.
Number 5 is Theos Heliaron, which was late 3rd or early 4th century, origin Greece. I can't say number 4. It's an Egyptian music. So I've got the top 3. Number 3.
It's basically it's religious songs or songs for rulers, that sort of thing.
Cerclerios Epitaphia, which was created in 100 CE by ancient Greek town of Tralas, modern-day Turkey.
I love Jordan's pronunciation.
I
know we're all struggle with pronunciation, but I love him.
I think we should just get Jordan to read foreign things sometimes.
Number 2 was Delphic Hymns, which was created in the 128 BCE. First hymn may have been written in 138 BCE by ancient Greece. And the country of origin was ancient Greece. And number 1...
If it was written by ancient Greece and the country of origin was somewhere else, I'd be worried.
Number 1 is the Herodian hymn to Nikal. The year created 1400 BCE. Ancient Amorati Karneti, city of modern-day Syria, basically. Written by unknown. It is basically...
I would assume most of them are unknown.
No, this is basically... This hymn was a cult hymn.
Every religious hymn is technically a cult hymn. Every religion starts as a cult.
Over the years...
It does. If you think about
100%.
it, every religion starts as a cult.
Over the years, the song has been reconstructed by musicians and researchers, and anyone can listen to what the song may have sounded like through online videos. The H6 tablet is currently located in the National Museum of Damascus.
This thing, we've got those as the oldest recorded songs, but you know for a fact there would have been songs before that just weren't recorded. Especially if they were done by poor people, because a lot of these recorded songs will have been either created by a rich person or like transcribed by someone who could read or write, or like a rich person or something.
Music is 35,000 years old, apparently.
Music is way older than that. That's one thing that I'm not too keen on with humans, is like we're trying to categorize everything and say this is the oldest of this. It's not. It's this
music
is the oldest recorded.
And actually, music originated from Africa.
Music, that's because everything originated from Africa.
Yeah,
music originated from when the sun went boom.
Wow, the oldest song on Spotify.
How would you go from ancient songs to Spotify?
Because I'm just basically going down a list of suggestions on Google.
It's one hell of a list.
What is the oldest song on Spotify? The Hymn of Ugarati.
The Hymn of Uganda?
Yes, Joe. Yes, Stefan. What?
I'm going to send you the lyrics to this song that I've got, that I was thinking of. It is the worst song I've ever heard in my life. They were like, oh my god, it's so good, and they were talking about it on the radio. And they play it all the fucking time, and they're like, oh yeah, and they're always on about how great it is. It is the worst, most diabolical piece of shit that I've ever heard in my whole entire life.
I'm looking forward to it now.
Dude,
this is where I like the song just because it pisses you off.
You cannot like this song, like, even if you want to. When it's written down, it doesn't seem that bad, even though you get the idea of how repetitive it is. But I want you to listen to it after we'll come off, before you go off your camera, but when we stop recording. Because,
do you want to know who invented rap?
No.
Oh well, it was in the 1970s. It was a person called DJ Cool Heck.
Okay.
He's apparently widely credited with kicking off the genre. His back-to-school parties in the 1970s were the incubator of his burgeoning idea, where he used his two record turntables to create loops playing the same beat over again and extend the instrumental portion of a song.
Right, Kyle.
I feel like that would be the type of guy who had very little friends, or people avoided.
Kyle. Have you read that?
Well, this changed quickly.
I did a quick skim. Yes, it's terrible.
I mean, dude, you have to listen to it before we go off. But I want to talk about our future. Our Freddo future.
Oh, God.
Our Freddo
our
future.
office future.
Okay.
Our political future.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Right, you did say this in the chat. I wasn't too sure if you would want to say it live or not.
Yeah, I'll say it. Right, so this solves a lot of our problem, right? So in an electoral system, right, a deposit is the sum of money that a candidate for an elected office, such as a seat in a legislature, is required to pay to an electoral authority before he or she is permitted to stand for election. Right?
Which is why you don't get normal people being MPs and stuff, because we're not rich enough.
Right. So what does it say? What it says is, in the typical case, the deposit collected is repaid to the candidate after the poll, if the candidate obtains a specified portion of the votes cast. The purpose of the deposit is to reduce the prevalence of fringe candidates or parties with no realistic chance of winning a seat. If the candidate does not achieve the refund threshold, the deposit is forfeited. Now, what I did learn was that if you pay to get a seat and you don't meet the threshold, you don't get your money back. It goes to Queen. But there's more to it than that. So in the UK,
wasn't there a guy? Didn't Sir Buckethead run for something.
He's run so many things.
In which case,
He beat Nigel
he's
Farage.
paying money to run.
He beat Nigel Farage.
Hold on there.
He did.
Since 1985, the deposit in elections to the House of Commons for the UK has been £500. Right? So you've got to hand in a cash, banker's draft, or other forms of legal tender. When the candidate submits the nomination papers, it is refunded if the candidate gains 5% or more of the valid votes cast. So you only have to get 5% to get your £500 back. But even if we
but how much is 5% of the UK?
It doesn't matter. Even if we don't, right? For the UK, you basically it talks about the different things, but basically what I found out that in the UK you get, for this £500, you get free use of public spaces and offices to hold meetings and stuff. So we'll get an office, right? It's £500 and that lasts for the till the next election, so potentially 4 years.
Okay.
Right? And if we do somehow get 5% of the vote, we'll get our money back, so we've got a free office. But
we are now a political party.
On top of that, it promises that was part of the plan anyway, before we knew this. On top of this, it does say that it would also offers great promotion. So you get free promotion, a free office, and even if it's not free, even if you don't get your 5% of the vote, it's still only £500 for the year for free promotion and office.
So everybody will end here and say we will be running for some position in the future.
Although if we want to be mayor of London, it's got to be 10 grand.
Because if Boris Johnson can do it, we can.
Yeah, if the people that are in politics now can somehow do it, we can, because we're much fucking better than them.
Also, we tell the truth.
Yes, exactly.
Oh wait, that means we'd fail.
Most of the time.
That means we'd fail.
Yeah, we're not good politicians. Oh, there is a guy who I'll talk about briefly. I can't remember the party or anything like that. It's something we should probably look at. But basically, in ancient Greece, it was very much names in a hat. Everybody who was old enough, over 18, registered onto the electoral roll, if you like, before voting. You would actually they basically pick you, so you couldn't become a career politician. You couldn't become a career liar. You would be a normal person, and just like getting called up for jury duty, your name would be called Bosch, right? You're a politician. And there's a guy running, or was running in the UK a few years ago, who wanted this to come back. There's a name for it. I can't remember it. I'll research it probably. But there's a name for this kind of democracy where it can be literally anyone, like pull the pool for a jury.
Is that how the Conservative Party picked Boris?
No, he's a career liar.
No, he's a career liar that paid his way there.
Fine then, is that how the Republican Party picked Donald Trump?
A lot of the problems with democracy is that people do just become career liars and then wanting things to benefit themselves instead of the country. Well, yeah.
I mean, that is the issue of politics. We would get away with that because we don't want to benefit ourselves. We want to benefit everybody.
Yeah, we just want the office. Once we pay for £500, we've got the benefit for ourselves.
Yeah, once we've got the office, we don't give a shit. So we'll help. We'll help the people. We'll make the north.
Maybe we can town hall one day for one of our meetings.
We'll make the north fucking amazing. Imagine us having a meeting in Parliament. We'd be sitting doing the podcast while Parliament session's going on.
Getting off the speaker.
Boris Johnson in the background calling people what was it? Great soup, bless me, give vertebrate jellies.
God damn this!
Shut up, Boris.
God damn this! Taking off air.
God damn, it's taken off air in the corner again, running that podcast.
Well,
fuck off, Boris. We're busy. We're doing actual work, something you've never heard of.
We're the only working class people in this place.
Every time one of them says something, one of them stands up. Yes, when you want, I call bullshit.
Yep.
I'll
just bring the button.
Yes.
I'll just bring the button.
Every single bullshit. Hello and bullshit.
No. No. We'll constantly be going, point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Anyway, thank you very much for listening.
Bullshit.
Thank you very much for listening. Vote for us in whenever we decide to run, and you will be rewarded with a truthful fucking candidate and an actual good policies that will probably help people, because we do actually have good ideas sometimes, and we do actually care because we live here. We don't live with a silver spoon in our arse with no knowledge of what actually goes on in the world.
Yeah, vote for us, and depending on who wins the argument, we will either no longer have to pay council tax or we'll be at war with France.
That's
only Stefan's policies.
We will argue with Stefan, don't worry. But anyway, it will be you will have a country run by 4 people. However, it will be 4 people with fantastic ideas that can make each other not do stupid shit sometimes.
It will be 4 completely incompetent people not capable of running a country, but it'll be funny.
Also, we would listen to the public, which can be more than said for a lot of people in politics. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find us on basically everything's on our website, TakenOffAir.com. If you Google search TakenOffAir podcast or TakenOffAir.com, you will find us. There is Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything you need to find about us. Drop a message, whether it's an email, a Facebook comment, a message on Twitter, whatever you want. Let we know anything, just basically give what ideas for the political party. Tell what you think of the podcast. Tell to shut the fuck up. We don't give a shit. Try not to be too negative because we don't want a massive negative community because we're already bad enough at that anyway. But
don't mind constructive criticism.
If you just want to have a laugh.
It's fine to be negative in a constructive light. If you don't like something, that's fine to say it. It's fine to voice that opinion. We can learn from it if we are continually doing something that our listeners don't like or that isn't good. Would rather know about it and we can try and fix that. But don't just be nasty for the sake of it. Don't just be negative for the sake of it. Yeah, don't be an arse.
Don't just be an arse and don't go trying to pick a fight because it is a fight that you will not win.
Yes.
Because we are from the north.
Yes, and we will steal all your Freddos. Also, go follow, share, and talk to us, but don't donate to us this week. You want to donate to any mental health charity that you see fit. We don't necessarily have a link set up to any donation page or anything like that, but it is Mental Health Month and it is important to do go and support.
We don't because this is mostly because of my dislike of
life,
a lot of charities and things like that. However, I will say if you want to support a charity, go ahead, especially with it being Mental Health Week. There are a lot of good charities to do with mental health. There are a lot of good charities, especially dealing with suicide lines and things like that. Support them if you can.
Because mental health is a silent killer.
Yeah.
But we will not push you or anything like that, and we will not put links up to specific ones so that you go and only follow a specific one, because it's your choice who you support.
Yeah, and we
don't want to influence that. And everybody's important. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. That is all from us
this week.
Tonight. There might not be an episode next week, depending on if these guys can get together, because I won't be on next week.
I'll be on next week.
Oh, Jay won't be either, so maybe we might be recording on Saturday next week when you're back.
Oh, God.
Maybe.
I can't.
It all depends.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Either way, we'll get our podcast now, but we won't be live next week either.
Yes.
It'll be the week after.
It'll be pre-recorded, maybe.
Yes.
Just like this.
Au revoir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye.
Press the button, Stefan.
Press it.
Press it.
Press it.